Okay, this video is about types of software. There are a few different types of software. We have the operating system, or the OS, which runs the computer essentially. That's what actually talks to the CPU. And then we have applications or programs, which are the things that the users usually interact with. So something like Microsoft Word or Studio One or Pro Tools or Pages or Google Chrome. All of those are applications or programs, and they talk to the operating system, which talks to the CPU. So as you can see, the user almost always only interacts with the application. The application interacts with the operating system, which then goes to the network, which might be the internet, or talks to the CPU, or moves information back and forth from the storage devices, the hard drives and things. Even when we think we're interacting with the operating system, we're probably interacting with an application. So like on a Macintosh computer, when you go into Finder, and you can look at all the files all around, and that sort of feels like the operating system, but it's not. Finder is an application that functions in the operating system. And we'll talk about that a little more in the next video as well. So some common operating systems, if you're on Windows, Windows is up to 10 right now. For some reason, they skipped 9. Mac is in the 10 point something ranges. I believe the current one is 10.15, which they call Catalina. But 10.16 is probably coming out soon. Then there's some other operating systems as well. Linux, Unix. Unix is actually what the Mac OS is based on. Mac OS is essentially a Unix style system, and Linux is also similar, although they're not so similar that you can just move things back and forth. There's one more piece of software I want to talk about, which is called a device driver. That's a software that allows the operating system to communicate with hardware. They're often required for printers or scanners, audio MIDI interfaces, some storage devices. In modern consumer computing, having to actually go download a device driver is a pretty rare thing. A lot of times you can just plug your printer in and it works, or the operating system goes out and finds the driver on its own. But there are some rare occasions, especially with audio interfaces, where there are pieces of software you need to install to make them work. And the reason I bring this up to you is sometimes when you update your operating system, things will break. And often the fix is to go download the new device driver, and that will often sort that out.